guys.
Hello. So today we're talking about what you should buy this week for groceries and how you should use it. People get really confused on using the grocery ads. And so I thought I would walk through. I went through several places over the country, 3 or 4 places around the United States, and looked up this week's grocery ad. And Mom and I are going to give you some ideas on how to use this week's grocery ad. All right, first up here we have Ridley's. This is my local hometown grocery ad. It's not a huge chain. They've got a couple of stores, but it's not a huge chain. But you can see here, they have bacon on sale for $2.99. And so I would stock up on bacon. They've actually had better prices on bacon. As a matter of fact, 3 weeks ago, they had bacon for $1.67 a pound. That's when I would stock up. But if you missed it, then you could get it for $2.99 a pound. They've also got grapes for 98 cents a pound. So this week, our fruit is going to be grapes. I got like 4 pounds because I got 3 teenage boys eating at my house today or this week. So 98 cents for grapes. And then down here on the left, I have $1.99 for pork chops. So what I did was I went and stocked up and I spent $60 on pork chops. When I went there, they were sold out. So I asked the butcher, do you guys have any more? And he said, yeah. And he brought out a whole tray. And I said, can I have 6 of these? And he was like, sure. Each package had 6 pork chops, and they were about $8 to $10 for a package, give or take, somewhere around there. So what I did was bought the pork chops, brought it home. We had one for dinner. Wasn't it delicious, dear?
Yes.
And you'll be able to see that recipe coming up on Super Easy Recipes in the next couple of videos. And that's my other YouTube channel where I do recipes. And then I froze the rest. So now I have stocked up on pork, which is cheap right now. Just like one of our viewers, Bounty in the Badlands, was telling us, beef prices are going up. And yes, they're going up. They have not been, I haven't seen beef really on sale at all. So what do we do then? If we buy bacon and you need bacon, stock up on your bacon. Get 6 or 8 packages of bacon, and then you can have bacon for the next 2 or 3 or 4 months. That's how we do it. Okay. All right. And so Mom has some ideas for using up the bacon.
Well, if you get the bacon now, besides saving the money, you can fry it up, a lot of it up, and then you'll have it in the freezer ready for BLTs. This summer would be perfect when it's hot, and your tomatoes start coming in from the garden and everything. You can make BLTs and you'll have the bacon all ready, and you got it on sale. So you're going to save in that. You can also crumble up some of the bacon and put it in, baggies and stuff like that. And then you'll have it ready to just throw into potato salads. And come the fall, when you're starting to make potato soup and stuff like that, I love to put bacon bits, in my potato soup. And on the pork chops too, do you want me to talk about a recipe on the pork chops, or do you want?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say on the pork chops, what I would do is take the pork chops and use them for green chili. I would cook them up and make barbecue pork chops. Last night, I used my roast sticky chicken in volume 1. I used the seasoning for my roast sticky chicken and sprinkled it on there. It was really good. The Montreal seasoning from volume 2 was really good. You could do our peachy pork chops in volume 1 here with just a can. You don't have to have fresh peaches. You can just use canned peaches is what I normally do.
Yeah, and I was going to mention the peachy pork chops. That's a really good one that that's pretty popular. A lot of people that have tried it love it. And also, if stuffing happens to be on sale at the same time, I forget where I saw, maybe it was my imagination, but you can take and put like apple pie filling on a 9x13 pan and put that down. put the, I think it's put the pork chops down and then put the stuffing on top of that and bake that, and that makes a really good recipe. And get enough pork chops so that come fall, when apples are on sale, and we've got a recipe for your own apple pie filling that you can freeze, because some apples were on sale this week too. And so you can make up, it's in the first, I think it's volume 1 is where we have the frozen apple pie filling. You can make that apple pie filling up and freeze it in little batches. And then all you have to do is pull it out and use it for the pork chops, or even just cook the pork chops and use the pie filling on top just for, like a side or something like that too.
You can grill them. I have homemade applesauce that after I cook them a little bit in the pan, I just put my applesauce with a little bit of cinnamon sugar in there and cook that down just a little bit. That is really good also. So there's tons of different things that you can do to make with them. And the thing with ads is you just go with the ebb and flow with what is on sale for now. I'm not buying T-bone steaks. I'm not buying hamburger right now because it's expensive. And so I'm not going to be buying those particular foods. All right, the next one is family fare. Now, I think if I remember right, I can't remember if this was Michigan or Georgia. I know that's a big difference, but if you're in Michigan or Georgia, this is one of your ads. I can't remember.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, Mike says they're practically right next door. So you can see here, they have boneless, skinless chicken breasts for $2.47 a pound. That's actually very good right now. So I would pick some of those up if you use the boneless, skinless. But if you look here down on the bottom left again, $1.77 for whole pork shoulder. Now that's bone in, so you'll have a little bit of the weight with the bone in. But once again, take your pork, cook the whole thing in your Instant Pot or your crock pot or your oven. You don't have to use your oven this time of year if you don't want, but you can put it in your Instant Pot or your crock pot. And then use it in green chili, barbecue pork. You can use the peachy pork sauce and just have that over your pork. You can do sweet and sour with stir fry and cabbage. You could do all kinds of things with that pork loin.
I would, on the chicken, and a lot of people don't always think to do this, is cook up the chicken. I have a meat grinder, an old-fashioned metal meat grinder, but I think you can do it in food processor too. I'll throw that chicken in the meat grinder and grind it up, and then I'll make up packets of this cooked, ground up chicken and keep it in the freezer. And then if I want a chicken salad sandwich, I'll just pull out my little packet, add mayo and pickle or whatever I want to add to it. And it's really good for chicken salad. So you can keep that frozen packets of chicken. And then if you're going to go on a picnic or you're going to go on a trip or something, that's really something a little bit different than what probably most people have, like a treat. And so you can take that, you can either take the chicken salad with the mayonnaise in a container, and then when you stop for a picnic or whatever, you can put it on the bread, or you can make the sandwiches up ahead of time, whichever. I would butter each side of this bread before you make this chicken salad up to go on a picnic, if you're going to make them up ahead of time, though.
Because that way your bread doesn't get
soggy. Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't want to be grinding up your chicken, a good way to use it is to throw it in your crock pot or your Instant Pot, get it really cooked well so it's nice and soft and shreddable. Shred it up. Make barbecue chicken, make green chili once again, whatever you want, like chicken. We had chicken enchiladas for Jack's birthday last week. And I just took that same shredded chicken and we just ate like 5 days worth of meals, totally different meals on those chickens. You can take the casserole recipe in Dining on a Dime Volume 2. Guys, our cookbooks are 25% off in the description below. So you can grab them now, but our casserole recipe in here, you can use any of the pork or the chicken for those recipes and have 100 different meals.
Yeah, you can even just to make it really easy, just take the chicken as it is and put it with some lettuce and mayo on a sandwich, and if you want to keep it really simple. So you've got a whole spectrum here of stuff that you can do. Also, you might check, for those of you that have the book and want some more ideas, we've got the menus
Mhm.
the menus ebook, and we've got like almost 150 recipes in there, other recipes besides what's in the books. And I tried to keep the meals in that very simple. And we've got like summer stuff and winter stuff, and you can, they've got some I put some really yummy, simple, easy. I wanted to keep them really easy recipes in there.
All right. The next one we have here is HEB in honor of Mike. He's from Texas. All right. So once again, HEB has pork for $1.97 a pound for the pork loin right there. Then they've got the boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.49. They've also got the grapes and the mangoes and tomatoes on sale. Then the next one we have is Vaughn's. Now this is in Pasadena, California. I don't think you can get a whole lot more expensive than Pasadena, California. And look at this. Grapes, $1.99. Yeah, that's not the 98 cents I'm paying, but that's not horrid for grapes in California.
Mm-hmm.
But then look here. $1.49 for chicken breasts. I mean,
it balances out. Some things are a little bit cheaper, some things are more expensive. And so people worry about this all the time, but things balance out, and so it comes out to be the same.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's see. What's the next one or is that the last one? Oh yeah. And then in California, they also have Cheerios for $1.97. Well, that's what I pay here in Wyoming. So that's really a pretty good deal. All right. If you guys have comments or questions, please put them in the comment box there and Mike will get them sent to me. Let's see. I think, okay. Get there in just a second.
On the Cheerios, if they have cereal on sale, think about making Chex Mix. We've got the recipe in the book. And Chex Mix this time of year is something, again, different to take to summer parties or picnics and stuff like that. And you have to use the oven to make it, but the oven is down so low that it doesn't usually heat up the kitchen or anything because you turn it down really, really low to bake the.
Well, you can make it in the microwave.
Oh yeah, you could do it there too. I just prefer it in the oven because it has just a little bit of more intense flavor. But think of something like that. If the cereal's on sale, that would be something maybe a little less expensive to take than trying to buy dips that you put all these expensive ingredients in, and things like that, if you have to take something for these things.
Okay, let's see. Guys, let me know. I'm curious how many people type 1 if you use your ads and type 2 if you never use ads and you just go to the grocery store and just buy whatever you want. I'm kind of curious to see where people are at on that. Okay, do you have anything else? You were talking about your peanut butter?
Oh, well, yeah, and the grapes being on sale, here's a recipe that you can remember, and I'm waving my hand, so if you want to go back on the video to check it out, it's a real simple recipe. Instead of just doing the basic grapes and apples and stuff like that and cut them up together, we've got a grape salad. I think it's in the menu book, where you take a pound of grapes and you mix a cup of sour cream and a quarter cup of brown sugar and mix it together. And you put that in with the grapes. And that's a really good grape salad that's very simple with just 3, simple ingredients. So when grapes are on sale, try to think of different things like that and use your grapes. Because sometimes the kids will eat the grapes pretty good usually, but sometimes they at the end of the thing, they start getting a little bit tired of them. And this is the way you could use those grapes up.
Well, you can also reconstitute grapes. If they start getting a little shrivelly and the kids are like, ooh, gross, just rinse them off, put them in a bowl of water and stick it in the refrigerator and they'll rehydrate.
And you can also freeze them. Kids love frozen grapes too. Sprinkle a little sugar on the outside if you want and put them in the freezer. Another thing is peanut butter. I saw at our Albertsons, they had peanut butter on sale, and Skippy, especially the name brand peanut butters like Skippy and that, if you look at the expiration dates, they can be a year or a year and a half into the future on the expiration dates. So you might think of buying some peanut butter for when September and October rolls around, and peanut butter is really good to to use, just cut up an apple and put some peanut butter on the apple instead of just a sandwich in the summer, to do something, different like that. What else do I have on here? Oh, milk. You didn't see.
Oh,
Albertsons
yeah.
has milk.
Let's see. Oh, I forgot to put that at. Did we bring that? Oh, yeah.
You got it?
Here. Yeah, so our store has milk on sale right there. And you can freeze milk. It's really easy.
It's really easy to do. What I would do is, if I say I bought 3 things of milk and I got it home, I have little glass pitchers. You could use any kind of a little pitcher, and I will open all 3 of those up, and I will pour a little bit out of those 3 into my little pitcher. That pitcher goes in the refrigerator, and I'm going to be using it the next week. Then you can either put the rest of the milk just straight in the freezer. But since I'm by myself, or if there's only 2 of you in the house, I go and put the rest of mine in quart jars. And then I just line them up in my freezer. And that way, because I only use a quart, if that much, a week. So, it doesn't spoil on me. But if you have a family, just put the whole jug in there. But by pouring just a little bit in your little pitcher. Another thing, do this for your kids. Even if you're not freezing your milk or anything, pour it in a pitcher for them to use in the morning to put on their cereal, or just to use, period, because it's not as heavy. These little kids, we expect them to pick up a half a gallon of milk and pour on their cereal. Well, they dump it all over and it gets spilled because it chug-a-lugs out, or it's just too heavy and they lose control of it. So start putting, milk for the kids in a pitcher, and it really makes a difference. And they look, for some reason, all my grandkids, and when my kids were little, they loved doing that little pitcher. I think they felt like they had more control, or it was more their size or something. So something that simple can really, excite the kids, I guess is what I want to say. So they also had French bread on sale. Mm-hmm. And I buy French bread too on the clearance rack at Walmart a lot of time. And you don't have to use French bread just for like when you have spaghetti or lasagna with garlic toast. Although that's a good way, is to bring it home, slice it, butter it up, sprinkle it with garlic powder on there, garlic salt, whichever you want, wrap it back up, and then it's already in foil, and then it's ready to go next time you have lasagna or spaghetti. But you can also, if you're not using it fast enough, you can slice it up and use it for Texas toast. I slice it up a little bit thinner, and I use it for regular toast, or I use it for sandwich, to make a sandwich out of. So if you get a really good deal, like I got 50 cents on some loaves of French bread, and that's cheaper than me buying regular bread. So, be sure to use something like that. And then the last thing I have is 2 more things. Is we have pasta on sale. They have at Albertsons. And so stock up on, and usually they have spaghetti and the macaroni, and you can stock up on that and make a lot of macaroni or pasta salads this summer. You cook up that macaroni. You can add anything. You can make it Italian with like a little bit of tomato and what? I'm trying to think. My brain just went fried. But for Italian, you can make Italian pasta, salad. You can make, I just take and put mayo on it with a little bit of tomato and a little bit of chopped up ham or cheese, and mix it up. So you can do a lot of different pasta salads. So stock up on the macaroni, and then you can use it in the winter for like our hamburger casserole. We got that in volume 1, the hamburger casserole. Everybody loves that hamburger casserole.
livingonadime.com.
Kids love that. And it's so simple. It's just basically cooked hamburger, the macaroni, cooked macaroni with a little bit of tomato sauce in there, and you're good in seasoning, you're good to go. So, you can use it for things like that. Mm-hmm. So, yep. And the bean goulash. Bean goulash in volume 1, and we have some of these recipes on the website too, guys. Check them out. That is a really good summer one to go bring to a barbecue. It's got barbecue sauce in it, besides beans and hamburger. It's really good flavored and something different to take to a barbecue for that. And the last thing is they had sour cream on sale. And I put sour cream in my potato salad. just a little bit, and it gives it a more creamy taste for some reason. And I really like putting that in. And if you make a lot of these desserts with like pudding or Jello and Cool Whip and that, if you add like a quarter cup of sour cream, for some of them, it cuts the sweetness, is what I'm trying to say. And then the other thing is the sour cream. You can make our barbecue dip. Do we have it in on the books, or do we have
I
it?
think it's in volume 2.
Volume 2.
All it is half sour cream and half
Yeah.
barbecue sauce.
Just take your sour cream and you just, like she said.
Actually, super easy recipes. I did a dips at New Year's. Just type in dips for the search and I have it on there.
And that's so much cheaper than some of the more expensive dips where you have to buy different 2 or 3 cheeses and cream cheese and, all these different things. You mix nuts to go in all these fancy dips. The barbecue sauce with the sour cream, and you can adjust it. We say half and half, but you can just put some in, taste it, and keep adding the barbecue sauce till you get it the right effect. And it's good for vegetables. It's really good for potato chips, and those types of things.
Yep.
So,
all right, guys, you can get our cookbooks in the description below. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 25% off. This is volume 1 and this is volume 2. Start with volume 1. It has all our basics. And then volume 2 is just everything else that we couldn't add for volume 1. And then gluten-free, dairy-free, if you are gluten-free and dairy-free like me. And also, if you want to know when ads are a good price, we have our price books, guys, also. So you can go make sure you keep track of your prices. All right, Mike is going to send me your comments and questions. And if you have more, go ahead and put them in the comment section.
You know what my daughter said to me? I get in the car and she said, "You've got notes?" Like, yeah.
Well, I would think you have it memorized by now.
Yeah, I do. Pretty much so. But.
I mean, it's pretty much the same spiel over and over again. All right, Mike's going to send me the comments, but I was going to show you guys. Okay, remember me talking about what to do with my flower boxes?
Oh, they're gorgeous.
I've been working on my garden fervent. I've been killing myself working in my garden for between 5 and 8 hours a day for the last month. And guess what happens last night?
You guys won't believe it.
I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and for some reason, I don't know why I looked. Oh yeah, I looked at the temperature because it was so cold in the house. I was like, man alive, it's cold.
Froze last night.
It said 33 degrees, feels like 32. I was sitting here thinking, are you kidding me? I've just spent the last month planting all these flowers, and now we might freeze tonight. So half of Wyoming got frozen. Thankfully, I did not. So
I had to turn that. Now, you guys know I never turn my heat on hardly at all. And I had to turn it on this morning. It was so cold in my house.
All right. So here's my flower boxes. So I finally got them done. You can see the one on the far wall. I put some shade flowers in there. So those are still growing. But I went ahead and the one up front here, you can take off the lower third for a second.
Bother those at the front,
no,
did they?
It didn't. The one at the front here, I went ahead and put in all fake flowers, and that way I can not have to worry about them not getting sun and being too tall or anything like that. And then these ones on the wall over here, these will grow and hopefully fill in that spot this summer, I'm hoping. I should have planted them a little bit higher, but it's my first year using that box. And so there's the window box from the outside for everybody who was asking how I ended up doing that. That is what I did. With all the flowers that I've been buying that my mother's been mocking me for buying at the thrift stores. Yes, she has. She's commented to the ladies at the thrift stores. She already has plenty at home. Mm-hmm. See, it takes a lot of flowers to put them in there. So
it looks gorgeous. I wish you guys could see it in person. It's just like a botanical gardens out there.
So, but I did not freak out. Yes, last night.
And
throw my body over everything as it was freezing.
We tied with the record low. We really did, because it was cold.
Northern Wyoming and Western Wyoming got snow. And Montana got snow. So, yes, it's been very exciting around here. All right, to your questions. Amazing Grace, how's everyone? It's about 90 degrees here. My tomato plant leaves are curling up. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, make sure you're watering enough, but it could be leaf curl. And that's like I think it's a fungal disease, if I remember right. I haven't had it for years, so I can't remember. It is supposed to be 78 on Saturday and 98 on Sunday.
Sunday. Here we had freezing
Seriously?
last night, and we're going to be 98.
We are like, seriously, you have got to be kidding me.
I saw that.
Anyway, Darlene is happy to see you. Olympia says grilled pork chops outside on the grill with a nice salad. Yep, that's a great way to do it. DG says that apple stuffing pork chop casserole sounds amazing. Yep. Mary Ellen says, I marinate pork chops in Italian dressing, the grill. That is great. You could do Italian. Really you could do Catalina. You could do just olive oil and vinegar with salt and pepper. That would be really good too.
Good ideas, guys.
Water Bucket says, I put applesauce, onion, and pork in a crock pot. Delicious. That would be very good. Stephanie says, I only buy things on sale. Good.
Very good.
DG likes my Taurus toupee. Thank you. Cheryl, I make pork chops and scallop potato casserole. It's yummy. Yep. That's what we had last night, basically, with scallop potatoes and pork chops. Olympia, Tara, I watched the rags video, but had to turn it off at cleaning the drain. We were eating dinner. Yeah, I'm always cleaning drains out. It's like we're always shedding our hair around here. If you guys have comments or questions, put them in the comment box and Mike will send them to me.
You know what helped me? I had the same trouble with my drains and stuff. I got a vanity. I used a desk for a while, and then Tara and Mike got me a vanity when I moved here. But I started combing my hair on my vanity in the bedroom and everything, and I have not had to clean a drain for I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years, because I'm not doing all my makeup and stuff and hair in the bathroom. I do it at my vanity, and that really made a difference. My bathroom's not even getting as messy because I don't get hair all over the sink. I don't get makeup stuff all over there. And so it just stays better. And for some reason, I don't have a mess on my vanity. I don't know if I'm just automatically more careful with it or what, but that works really good if you have a lot of trouble,
Yep. Mary Ellen says Kahlua pig recipe on YouTube for pork loin. Interesting. Haven't heard of that one. Lori, we have fresh chicken thighs on sale for 99 cents a pound. That's a great deal. Lori, do you have scalloped potato and au gratin potatoes? Yes, we do in volume 1 and on our website, livingonadime.com. You can get those recipes. Kimberly, I got 80% ground beef at Quick Trip Limit 2 for $2.99 a pound. My husband and I got 2 each. Good. Very good. Yeah. When there's a limit of 2, send every single family member in there. You send your 6-year-old in to get some. That's a good deal. Beth, grapes are good in chicken salad. Yes, they are. Gail, I never go to the store without first looking over their whole ad. Very good. Debbie does too. And so does Stephanie. Does not use a lot of ads. What? Stephanie says she doesn't use a lot of ads because of the ingredients. That makes no sense. It's just ingredients that you buy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
If you're just buying chicken and you're just buying grapes and you're just buying tomatoes, I don't understand. But okay.
On the chicken salad with the grapes, it is good with grapes. And you know what? Start going to, like, if you happen to go out to eat this summer on a vacation or something, and you eat something really good at a restaurant, go home and try to reproduce it. Like years ago, I had at Arby's, they had the chicken salad and they had the pecans and the grapes, I think, in there and something else. And I went home and tried making the same thing, and it turned out really, really good. So, that's an idea to do, is when you go out to eat and you really like something, try to do it at home.
Mylanta says I utilize ads from my town and the ones that are within 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you get a good enough deal on meat, like if in California it was $1.47 a pound, let's say I was 30 minutes or an hour away, I would drive to that city and stock up on 6 or 8 months or a year's worth of chicken for $1.47, that's really cheap now. So it is worth your time to drive and go get these things sometimes.
People, for some reason, don't want to drive to go do groceries, but they'll drive and take their kids to a game in another town, or they'll drive and do something else in another town, And so we don't mind doing it like that, but for some reason, people don't want to drive every 2 weeks or something to another town to save money on groceries. I don't know why.
Yep. Nancy says she does use ads, except for one store that is always cheaper on a couple of items. Yeah, like if you have an Aldi, they really don't have an ad except for their special stuff. And so, like when I was in Kansas, I got all of my meat at Kroger, which is Dillon's, which is a Kroger store. But everything else I got at Aldi because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
So, DG wants to know, do you have a car? She's thinking of getting rid of hers because her insurance doubled.
Do I have a car?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Mike and I ran over to, it broke down on me about, 2.5 weeks ago. And so it's been in the shop, but we ran over and got it. But I do have a car. I have a very old car. It's a 1994 Toyota. And so that keeps the insurance low. The tags are low on it. And I've got a good driving record, so that helps with the insurance being relatively low. And I paid cash for it. If you don't go that
much, then it may not be worth it for you.
Yeah, it just depends on your situation, and if you have a bus where you're at that's easy to take, or even if you have to do Uber or something like that, to go once a week to rent, do your shopping at 2 or 3 places, is probably you could get by without a car. When I first Wichita has one now, but for years, Wichita didn't have a bus service at all. So we had no choice. We had to have a car because...
But here in Sheridan, they have a really good bus service.
They've got a really good bus service. So if push comes to shove, I could probably stop having a car, except mine's all paid for and everything, and my insurance isn't that high.
Let's see. Lori, I miss the Black Friday ads. They're getting less and less every year. Yep. Totally agree. Beth, I'm seeing less buy one, get one free in the store. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever bought anything on ads with buy one, get one free, because it's not actually cheaper. It's cheaper to buy it when it's per pound. So you have to make sure. That's why you use something like our price book here, guys, because then you'll know if it's buy one, get one free and it's $7.99 a pound. So that makes it $4 a pound for boneless, skinless chicken breasts. But you can get boneless, skinless chicken breasts for $2.49 a pound without buy one, get one free. That's a lot cheaper.
It's just a matter of doing the figuring on the stuff. Yeah.
Just Vicky says, I agree, Jill. Apples are a great delivery system for peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mike, you can send me the next one. Leah, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Your cookbooks are great, straightforward, and quick. Also, I know the urge to shop is my brain looking for dopamine. So now I exercise, pray, and listen to music. Very good.
Very good.
DG, so many of us are struggling with car insurance. Yeah, I've heard it's gone up for a lot of people. And DG loves the apple and almond butter idea. Forgot I could take that for lunch for me. Yes.
It's very filling too. You'd be surprised. I had an apple and peanut butter today for lunch, and I didn't have an urge for a snack or anything a couple of hours later. So it's really very filling.
Just a moment. I'm checking my son.
One thing on the insurance, this is why we don't recommend buying a brand new car or a really new car and get a car payment and everything, because the insurance is, the older your car is, the less the insurance is, and so you save. I don't think people take that into consideration when they buy a new car, that sometimes people are shocked at how expensive their tags and the insurance is going to be on that newer car. Also, different brands, sometimes the insurance is higher on different types of cars than other ones. So you might want to check some of this stuff out before you actually go buy something.
Sorry, I'm texting my son to check the meatloaf in the oven. Melissa says, don't know if y'all have ever mentioned it before, but store brands are next to comparable for the name brand. Also, if anyone has Food Lion, Sara Lee Bakery delivers to the Food Lion bread. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I know store brands is 95% of what I buy. Nicole says, I've never saved the bacon grease. When I did, it was full. It wasn't, when I did, it wasn't free of bits. Is it still good? Yes, it is.
That's really good when it has
But-
the bits in it.
But just go ahead and you can either strain it, or what I do is I just let all the bits fall to the bottom while it's still warm. Pour it all off, and just don't pour it until I come to when the bits start coming forward, to come out, then I just stop pouring, and then I just throw those.
And you
bits
may not
away.
want the bits for some things, but I like the bits because it's like getting little bacon bits is what it boils down to, in your stuff.
Yeah, and you can freeze that. Just get a silicone ice cube tray, and you can freeze that. Like I showed in my last video, I'm going to be doing a video on bacon grease in a couple of weeks, and so I'll show all that. Chrissy, I haven't found a gluten-free pasta that freezes well. No, I don't know of any gluten-free pasta that freezes well at all.
Cooked pasta, is it?
Yeah.
No, pasta doesn't usually freeze too good. Some people do lasagna in the freezer, but most of the time I don't freeze cooked pasta at all.
Lori's making chicken enchilada casserole for dinner. Yes, that is
Mm.
super good. And if you want to know, it's super easy. All you do is layer tortillas and then some hamburger or chicken, whatever meat you want. Then put a little bit of cheese, a little bit of enchilada sauce, next layer of tortillas, a little bit more meat, a little bit more cheese. Then you can add some olives or whatever you want.
Sour cream.
And then if you want to do a third layer, you can put your olives, your sour cream, your cheese, and then pour enchilada sauce all over the entire top and just bake it for 30 minutes, and it's done. So very yummy. Donna, her price book should be arriving any day now. Thank you for ordering. Yes, it's very handy. Cheryl, good evening. It's hot in Indiana, 90 degrees. Oh, I am not looking forward to it. I am not. As much as I love gardening, I hate it when it gets above 80 degrees. I'm good if it'll just stay 70. I need to just move to Hawaii. DG says, not a big fan of saving bacon grease, but it would be a good idea with potatoes.
Oh.
Yep, it's very good. DK set says, we save every drop of bacon grease. It's fabulous on too many things.
Yeah, I can't hardly live without it. I use it on everything.
She refers to it as our kitchen gold. Yeah. I mean, I use it to make scrambled eggs. I use it to fry everything. Chicken, pork chops, roast.
Pancakes, French toast.
All of those. Mom uses it, well, I do too, to grease bread pans and dinner roll pans. And we melt it in potato salad. Just put it on the hot potatoes and melt it in your potato salad.
I use it in baked beans, green beans. Yeah.
All the baked beans dishes and the bean goulash, all of those.
To rub them on baked potatoes, on the outside of baked potatoes.
Kenneth says the flavor is heavenly. That's why in heaven, perhaps the angels will serve your own delicious milk. Oh, thanks, Kenneth.
Kenneth,
all right, what do you want, Kenneth? I see the sucking up there. What do you want? Darlene, have you ever noticed that your mom looks like Ginger Rogers? You look like Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers. You do?
Probably just my hair.
You have that glow about your mother.
Leave it to your kids. Oh, Michael's got a huge blow up over there.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe there's a filter on the camera that's blurring
now,
us,
my grandkids think they've got the most beautiful man in the whole wide world. My kids, on the other hand.
That's because the grandkids are sucking up the candy. Let's see. She's in her apron. Kimmy!
Hi, Kimmy.
She loves the fake flower in my window boxes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have been collecting those at thrift stores and garage sales for the last year. I'm not kidding. I have. Every time I go, I pick up flowers. And the reason why I do that is because at least when the deer decimate everything, then I at least have something still blooming. That's exactly why I do it.
I have to tell them she gets flowers every time, like she said, we go to garage sales or thrift stores. And we had more fun this past week. Jack's got some friends from out of town visiting with him. And these are like 14, 15-year-old boys and everything. And they went thrift storing with us Didn't they? They were
They were
so
so excited.
excited. And I'm telling you
And they
this.
didn't even buy anything.
Yeah, I'm telling you this because if you need entertainment for your, teens, who would have thought that these teen boys would just have the best time? And they can't wait. We're going to take them garage selling. They want to go garage selling this weekend, and they can hardly wait to go garage selling. So we entertained them for a whole morning by hitting all the thrift stores.
We
It
had
was
to
the
plan
cutest
their
thing
entire trip around the garage.
around the garage sales because they love going to them. I mean,
this is their third year coming, and that's the highlight of the trip.
The trip. Well, and I guess I say that because so many people think they need to spend bukus of money on taking their kids to go here, to go there, to be in sports during the summer and do all this expensive stuff when these boys just love going to the thrift stores. Just let your kids relax and do kid stuff. I think we think they're just too modern, too, whatever that's what all kids want to do. But do you give them a chance to do something else, than what everybody else is doing? You might be surprised that they might actually enjoy doing just the good old fashioned stuff,
Yep. Lori Ann says she can grow the fake flowers. I know, that's what I'm thinking. Just Vicky says she loves the watering cans display. Thank you. And Nancy says she likes the flowers. Thank you, everyone. Oh, wow. Everybody's liking the flowers. Bonnie says it's 90 there today. She would rather have the cold. Yeah, that's why I moved to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do not live in Texas or even Kansas anymore. Diane says, hi, ladies. I haven't been able to make a live for a while. Glad to see you both. Hello.
Hi.
Inspired by Nature says, I was just watching some of your former videos until a few minutes ago, and then you were on live. Surprise. Hey. Donna, I didn't realize that y'all have ebooks available that have recipes that are different from the ones in the regular books. Yes, we have a lot
of really good ebooks. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. We were actually going to put some of those into print, but I decided not to. So,
yeah.
Darlene says, do you grow your own herbs? Yes, I do. DG says, love making herb butter. Yes, we have the herb butter in volume 1 and on our website, livingonadime.com, if you want those recipes. Nancy says the storm in the Gulf cooled us off for a few days. We'll be back to the upper to mid and upper 90s this week, plus humidity.
I was going to say, and you got humidity.
That's why I'm in Wyoming.
I know.
I'm not going to rub it in, but I'm just saying I will put up with winter for 10 months out of the year, so I don't have to deal with the 90s. I'm sorry. Bonnie's Journey says, I always look at my weekly grocery ads, shop at Kroger. Yep, Kroger is good. Aldi is not cheaper, in my opinion. It just depends.
Yeah.
It really does. That's why you got to know your prices.
I never got meat at Aldi.
I never bought meat at Aldi.
But they would have certain things that was a little bit cheaper.
Inspired by Nature, I purchased green gobbler powder, and it's excellent as a maintenance to get rid of tough clogs for the kitchen sink and toilet. Very good. Patty says, suggestion for using frozen and thawed sour cream. Each container consistency is different, some very liquid and some very chunky. Well, so first of all, after you thaw it, just stir it up really well and it should come back together. But I would just use it in like casseroles.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you bake it in anything, it'll work.
Yeah.
It'll be really good, like enchiladas, and
you
things like that.
You can start in banana bread, zucchini bread, all those you can put them in.
Yeah.
Kenneth says, since I went bald, hair is not my problem until now my 2 mini shepherds and 1-year pups are shedding for me. Oh my goodness. That is why I don't have a dog anymore.
I read you guys' comments when I'm not on the show. I sit and watch, and I can see all your comments coming in. Sometimes I don't talk because Tara doesn't want me talking too much because they don't.
Yeah, throw off our algorithm.
Throw off their algorithm. So I can't talk to you guys, but I do read the comments, and I crack up every time Kenneth comes on with something. So Kenneth, I appreciate you.
And it messes with our channel. Emily says, she did the au gratin potatoes last week. My kids said they were the best they ever had. Those are in volume 1. I am so glad they love them. Thank you. Donnie says pork ribs in the crock pot today with potatoes. Yum. Can you say me the next one, Mike? Yep. Beth says Tara scallop potatoes are the best I've ever had. Thank you.
Mm.
I think those are that's mom's recipes. I think well, I don't remember if the scallop was mine or mom's. Lori, do you leave your meat in the store package or do you rewrap it in paper to make it last longer? I just throw it in the freezer.
Throw it in the freezer. Mm-hmm.
I don't. Let's see if I can find my footage.
I always just bring it home from the store and stick it in the freezer. Now, while she's looking for that, the only time I don't is like if I had to get a big package of pork chops for me by myself, what I would do is I would take wax paper or parchment paper, usually wax paper because it's a little cheaper, and I would put it in between, several of the pork chops and stack them up, wrap them in a plastic bag and stick them in there. That way I can go in there and just pop one pork chop off at a time. Another thing that I do with it is I will take my hamburger and I will make up hamburger patties, raw hamburger patties. We used to do this. My mom would have me do this. And I would take wax paper, put a hamburger ball on the wax paper and then another thing of wax paper, press it down with a plate to the thickness that I wanted. Then I put it to one side, put another wax paper, another ball with wax paper, and smash it down. And I'd have a whole stack of hamburger patties. That way, if you're going to have a barbecue, you can just pop them apart and take out how many you need. I wrap them up and put in the freezer and take out how many you need for something like that. But no, the packaging is perfectly fine. Even if you keep them for quite a while in the freezer, it does okay.
Okay, so here, let's see, is it sharing? Okay, so you can see here, I literally just throw everything in the freezer. I don't repackage anything unless I get it like last year I got 40 pounds of chicken in a box, which took me 20 minutes and I saved $90 for 20 minutes worth of work repackaging it. You can see that is up top. The last of that is left at the very top there in that Ziploc bag. But yeah, I just throw it in there. Here's the thing. I rotate through my food. I'm not keeping my food
that's
2
what I was
years.
Say.
I
need
eat
to
everything
keep on
within
top of it.
6 to 9 months. I try to get through everything in my freezer. As a matter of fact, my freezer is about half empty right now, and I'm getting ready to clean it and reorganize it so I can start restocking. But I let it get down a little bit, get it all cleaned out, and then I reorganize so that all the old stuff is at top and it's easy to get to. And then I just start restocking again.
I don't think we mention this often enough, but you have got to keep control of your freezer. Keep it cleaned out and organized, because more people waste money because they get in there and they find stuff that is so old and covered in frost they can't use it, and so it's just a waste of money. And that's why your grocery bills are so high. You need to be sure to use the food that you have. And part of that is keeping your freezer organized and under control and cleaned out every once in a while.
Yep. Let's see. Nicole, you can ask a Bible question if you would like.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
have something. Let's see. Donnie's pork ribs in the crock pot today with, wait a minute. Mary Ellen. My cousin was visiting me in Iowa from Michigan. He thought New York strips for $6.99 was cheap. Well, probably New York strips for $6.99 is pretty cheap, I would say, probably, from what I've seen. I don't ever buy steak that often. When it gets down to $4.97 now, I'll buy it for like stews and beef stroganoff, that kind of thing, because that's the cheapest we found in Wyoming, unfortunately. So that's very rare. But most of the time what I do is I just use leftover roast for those. Bonnie's Journeys. I like to get rotisserie chicken each week from Sam's Club, $5, and use it for a couple meals. Yep. Emily, I love finely chopped celery and walnuts and chicken salad. Yes, I'm going to have to go make me some chicken salad now. That makes me sound really good. DG, I write every company whose product I like, and they send me coupons. That's a good deal. Inspired by Nature says, as a single woman, purchasing a new wave oven has been a game changer. I purchase bulk meats and portion them into individual servings, then place them in the freezer. Very good. Olympia, I don't understand. I mean, I was single for 3 years before I got married. I don't understand why people have problems. They keep telling us, can you write a singles or 2 people cookbook? I never had a problem cooking one. I mean, I
Mm-mm.
made everything that I make
Mhm.
now when I was single.
And I am single, and I've always.
I just either did a half a batch
Mhm.
or I saved it for leftovers to eat for the next couple of days, or I put it in the freezer.
And I'll make up the sour cream enchiladas. I love those that we've got in the volume 1, and I'll make them up, and it makes 4 meals. But that means I have lunch one day, dinner that night, lunch the next day, and dinner that night. That's not that much to get tired of. It's only for 2 days that I'm eating on them, so it's not. I don't understand that either. Why people that are single have trouble. You just cut the recipes down. And it's not hard to cut the recipes. I've had questions in the comments, and they said, well, how do I cut this chicken recipe down? And the recipe starts out with 4 pieces of chicken. And she says, I'm single. Well, that means you would use 1 piece of chicken or 2,
This is
and
basic math.
and cut everything else in half.
I'm sorry.
It is. It's just knowing a fraction of how to cut things in half or in a quarter. So it's not really hard. Most recipes, some recipes, if you're baking some really exotic things, some things, you might not want to do it. But basic, even like banana bread recipes and even cake recipes. I've taken my cake out of the box, box cakes, and I've measured out how much the powder is in the bag, and I've got that measurement, and then I know to cut that in half. And then I just have everything else, the eggs, the water, and everything else. And then I have another cake mix, half a cake mix in there to use the next time. Just start having things, and it's not too big a deal.
Yeah. Guys, all these tips are in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 25% off right now. Start with the red one. It is our basic cookbook. The blue one is the second, totally different recipes. It's just volume 2. And then the green one is our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Easy recipes, get you in and out of the kitchen quick. Your family will, actually want to eat it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money cooking it.
And we don't mention this. We mention the recipes a lot, but we have got all these tips and tons more of tips and different things in our books. We don't just have, a few basic cooking recipe type things. Ours is a different cookbook, and we even have stuff like kids stuff, to make sidewalk chalk and Play-Doh. We've got a whole section on that. We've got a whole section on gift baskets, and another whole section on if you like making homemade toiletries like soap and laundry detergent. We've got all that. On the ebooks, we've got a whole laundry ebook thing where we teach how to do the linen spray that everybody loves when they're ironing, to spray on their clothes and iron. I think we even have how to make starch in there. We've got how to make laundry detergent in there. So we've got lots of these things all over the website and in, the books.
Yep. Let's see. Olympia says we went out to eat across the street at a very popular restaurant for husband's birthday, and the next time I duplicated their salmon and shrimp recipe. Yep.
That's a good idea, and I like doing that. Yeah.
Bonnie says I do try to recreate meals from restaurants. Yep. Barb, so glad to see us, and it is 87 in Kansas City, which is why I don't live in Kansas. DK says that's one of my favorite joys in life, to figure out how to make something we love in a restaurant. Yep. Fro's family says, yeah, for Father's Day I made homemade enchiladas not homemade enchiladas, homemade fajitas, and everybody loved them. Fro's family says, nice to wake up to you this morning. Good morning. Got a very short summer haircut, so not too much hair in my drain these days.
Makes a difference.
She only needs a teaspoon of shampoo too. Yep. Inspired by nature. I also place fruits and vegetables in the freezer. Yep. Vanessa, thank you so much for volume 1, the red one. My daughter made the Play-Doh recipe and was busy for an hour. That is great. And her oldest is currently making the banana bread. Good.
Very good.
Oh, Atlanta says, you want to hear a strange thing? In Arkansas, my car insurance was $87 a month. In California, the same coverage is $70 a month. Is that the strangest? No, it's not. I can tell you exactly why. It's because of the hail.
Yeah.
And tornadoes. You have higher risk of natural disasters than you do in California. And so in Colorado, our insurance was higher. No, wait. In Kansas, our insurance was higher than Colorado because we had more hail in Kansas. So,
and that goes for home insurance too. If you're in a state that, has quite a few more natural disasters.
Jacqueline says, what spices can add to jazz up barbecue sauce? I paid 77 cents for Heinz barbecue, about 12. My husband doesn't like the brand, but I do. What can I do to beef it up? So if you have volume 1, look at grandma's barbecue meatballs and just add some of the seasonings from that. Some of the smoke,
liquid
smoke, onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. I bet if you just add some of those, you'll be fine.
And if he has a sweet tooth, that has brown sugar in it too. So you could add a little bit of brown sugar if he has a sweet tooth.
Beth drives 40 minutes to get Little's, Aldi's, and Giant Food. Very good. Yep. I mean, we used to have to drive 70 miles to go get groceries in Idaho.
Through mountains.
So I have no sympathy for people who are whining about how they can't get good grocery prices, but all they have to do is drive an hour to go get groceries. It is worth it. A lot of times to go drive, if you live in a small town, to go get groceries if you don't have a good selection of grocery stores. Dixie Girl says, Walmart bread molds before it expires. I finally returned mine last week and told them I'll never buy it again since I tried it a few times over the years and the same result 50% of the time. That's weird because I buy Walmart bread all the time and it never molds.
I've never had trouble. But I did have it do it at Aldi. The bread at Aldi was really bad. So, it just
throw
depends.
It in the freezer.
Yeah, I freeze my bread all the time. And another thing, if you're by yourself, I take half the loaf and automatically put it in the freezer. And then when I'm going to have toast, I'll take a piece from the freezer loaf and I save the other half of soft for sandwiches and that type of thing. Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, I was just trying not to cough up a lung. Jane, pork chops here are $5 a pound. Yeah, they'll be going on sale probably.
Also, be watching. That just remind me, 4th of July is going to be coming up, and there'll be some good deals on different things on the 4th to watch.
Usually hamburger, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, watermelon, beans are a good time to stock up. Frozen corn is a good time to stock up.
And if you do watermelon, we've got a recipe for pickled watermelon. Is it in the first
watermelon
book?
rind in here?
Yeah.
It's on Living on a Dime too. It's really good. Mary Ellen says I pop popcorn in bacon grease. Yummy. Yep.
Yes, that's good, isn't it? I know.
Crescent says my dog loves bacon grease in his dog food. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Donna says saving the butter wrappers is also a good idea. You shared, been using them to make your red velvet cake in volume 1. Very good. Beth, I just checked my grocery out here and pork chops are $2.99 a pound and peaches are 99 cents. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on where you live. So it's going to be different all around. Caroline says making your own bread is super cheap to do. Also delicious. Yes, but a lot of people don't want to take the time to make bread. So it's totally fine. I'll pay $1.42 to not have to make a loaf of bread. But, my kids eat it so fast because it's more of dessert than it is bread.
Yeah, and what I had to take into account too, I made homemade bread all the time, but I found out that they ate twice as much of the homemade stuff, and I was doing piano parts for our business, so the amount of time that I had to take to bake the bread, even though it doesn't take a whole lot of time, I could make like $10 or more doing the piano parts. So in the long run, it was cheaper for me to buy the bread and do piano parts. So
Nancy says I look nothing like Ginger Rogers, but my grandsons were here one night. We were watching a movie. They said, Grandma, that lady looks like you, but you're much prettier. They know how to butter me up. There you go.
Do, don't they?
PG
Grandkids are good at that.
I see a lot of young people shopping at thrift stores. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you can send me the next ones. Letitia, young people love to thrift shop. Yep. Shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny because three of my kids have brought friends here from Colorado, and all their friends just absolutely love the thrift stores.
Thrift store.
And garage sales. Ellie's husband was just loving going to the garage sales last 4th of July.
So funny to watch them.
Mary Ellen, I grew up in Florida. Every Saturday morning, my mom and I would hit the garage sales, go to the rich neighborhoods. It was like finding gold. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Although not always the rich neighborhoods. Here, some of the skankiest garage sales have some pretty cool stuff. So it kind of depends.
Well, it's funny. Now I just lost what I was going to say about going to the garage sales. Oh, that's what the boys said too. They said you get some really different stuff. If you go to the mall or Walmart and you just look around at these same old stores all the time, they get to be kind of same old stuff. And they said you find really unique and different things, a lot of antique stuff, older stuff. And that's what they liked about it, was finding the old new, unique stuff.
Peggy says we're a lot of fun, and Heidi says her kids have always liked garage sales. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie says refrigerate, freeze the bread. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ron, what is coming up on stock up sale for the 4th of July? Oh, I just touched on that. Tracy, hi, Jill and Tara. Greetings from State College, Pennsylvania, home of the beautiful Penn State University. I have an Aldi right across the street and was wondering if this store is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most Aldis are good, but you may find cheaper prices at your regular grocery store. But let's say you don't have a car. That's probably cheaper to just go shop at Aldi's across the street than to buy a car to go buy groceries somewhere else. So.
And one thing too I like about Aldi's, if you don't feel well, like we have the chronic illness and everything, it's smaller. Of course, now some of them are getting much bigger, but mine was smaller, so it was, and they don't have as much stuff, so you don't get quite as overwhelmed and wore out going to the store. But the stuff they do have that I bought, I really liked. All their fruits and vegetables and canned stuff like that. I mean.
Froze family, I'm with you on the heat. I hibernate in the summer. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's in her apron. Hello, Kimmy. I stock up in the summer on my condiments and marinades for the year. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Debbie, my granddaughter is almost 13 and loves going to yard sales and thrift stores. Plus, she's already saving for college. Very good. Finding a way. Aldi prices have risen a lot, still cheaper a lot. I don't buy much meat there except for some. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
When we went on our trip to Florida in March, I wanted to stop at Aldi's and we just didn't have a chance just to film to see how the prices compare now, but I didn't get a chance to do that. J. Pat says, I love it when you share your gardening with us. Always inspiring. Thank you. DG, any downside to living in Wyoming? Yes, it snows a lot.
Yeah, but it's not snow like we had in Kansas. We had ice with our snow, and it was a bitterness. I was talking to the guy you were looking at the car at yesterday, and he was from Iowa. They were in Iowa and stuff. And we were talking about there's just a difference. The snow here, it reminds you of a Hallmark movie, Christmas movie. It's just much warmer.
Yeah, but you have snow between October and May. You have snow between October and May.
You do have snow, but it's not, you're not stuck at home. Like in Kansas, you couldn't go out on the icy roads as much. It's just different for some reason.
Well, a lot of people use the spikes because it was so slippery last winter.
Yeah, you do have to wear
It was really heavy.
Using spikes to walk into the grocery store and stuff, because what it does is it'll thaw and then freeze and thaw, and then you'll have a sheet of ice under the snow.
But it's not like pure ice falling out of the sky as much like in Kansas.
Let's see. And the other thing is there's not a lot of shopping here. So I don't have a lot of choices in grocery stores. I don't have a lot of choices in stores in general because I don't have. We have Maurice's here in Sheridan, but other than that, it's Walmart.
If you like the big city and need lots of civilization, you don't have that quite as much. If you need
specialty doctors, you'll probably have to go to Gillette or Casper for Sheridan, which is almost 2 hours away each way, or Billings. No airports really to speak of. We have an airport, but it's really expensive, and they only fly in 1 day a week or something. So, yeah.
It's a small town, basically, out in no man's land.
Yeah. Okay. Nicole, the chat messes with algorithms. So, what Mother was doing was answering the questions before I could get to them. So, I told her to stop answering the questions. And if you get too much off on it'll mess. If you get too off the subject, it'll mess with the algorithm because YouTube doesn't know what your video is about. So
she didn't want me chit-chatting.
Yes, because she was throwing off my show. Melissa, as Frank White, the Southern sportsman, used to say at the end of every show, do yourself a favor, take a kid fishing. There you go.
Yeah.
Terry, catch a ride with a neighbor or have a neighbor pick up items from a list when they're shopping. Yeah. Letitia says she's never frozen milk. Yep.
Mhm.
Denise says
When you freeze your milk, be sure to, when you take it out and thaw it, shake it up really, really good because the cream separates a little bit. But if you just shake it up really good, it'll do fine.
Denise says, could you do a show sometime on how to organize greeting cards and Christmas and wrapping paper, bows, and ribbons? So all I do for my greeting cards is I have a little box and I made tabs and I just did Christmas, thank you, birthday, get well. And I just put all the cards behind those tabs in a box. And that's how I organize my cards. And then for the wrapping paper and bows, I just got a trash can and my wrapping paper just stands in the trash can. And then the bows and ribbons, I have one of those comforter bags that zips that your comforter comes in. And I just throw all of my ribbons in there. And then I can just see, it's clear. I can see all my ribbons and I just pull one out. Bonnie's Journey, she makes hamburgers and freezes in small portions because it's just her and her teenage son. Yep.
Mhm.
DG says, I stopped drinking milk about 100 years ago. DK said, the best tip you've given me is to fry up a lot of hamburger and separate into baggies. Yep.
That makes all the difference in the world to cook up that thing of hamburger and just put that cooked hamburger in the freezer.
Crescent, have a show on portion control. We have actually done that. So you can go back and look and just type in portion control and you can see what we did. Jacqueline, I freeze my meat right from the original package. When I'm ready to use it, I take it to my garage and slam it on the cement floor. There you go.
That's a way
Breaks up the frozen meat into chunks. Then I grab a chunk and cook it.
That's a
Rewrap
new
it,
one,
put
but
it
that's
back
a
in the
good
freezer.
idea. That's a good.
Note, before throwing it on the floor, put it in a garbage bag in case the original packing breaks and the frozen chunks fly all over
Wonder
the
how
floor.
she found that out.
I've done that before.
Mm.
Millie, I quit drinking milk. I only buy it when I bake. I drink almond milk. Lasts longer in the freezer. Yeah, I mean, Mike and I don't drink milk anymore, and Jack's the only one who drinks it, so we don't go through milk hardly at all anymore either. Joanne, nectarines are over $3. Yep, won't be buying nectarines. Oh, my Lanta this last week is pull out of the freezer leftover containers, eat those, but I pulled out before I pull out any meats from the freezer. Good. DG says, I can't wrap my head around people paying $8 to $10 for coffee. That's serious addiction. I know. We were looking at a car yesterday to buy, and they wanted to meet us at the Starbucks parking lot. And we were just like, my goodness, there's 20 cars in line every single time we come here.
Yeah,
It's
I told
absurd.
Tara I've never been driven past or been parked by that Starbucks that it has not been circled around with cars any time of the day.
Yeah. Letitia says a high price for coffee is a super large coffee, but Mike says a small fancy coffee here is $6. My Lanta, I'm a single granny. I make a whole batch recipe, stave leftovers, even whole lasagna, because why cook it again later? I know, that's what I don't understand people who don't eat leftovers. You're just pre-cooking for the next meal. My goodness. Joanne, what is the cheapest fruit to buy? Whatever's on sale this week.
Yeah, that's what I do. As a matter of fact, I just get the ad for the week and I look and see.
As a
what
general
they've got.
rule, bananas, apples, oranges, peaches, and pears in the summer. Strawberries aren't doing so great anymore, but in June you can get strawberries sometimes. So
This week I'm going to have grapes. What was it? About a month ago, they had a huge bag of oranges. So the oranges keep in the refrigerator for a long time. So I had the oranges because they were on sale for really good. So just pick out the vegetables. And then what I do is I make my menus kind of around than what I get for the fruits and vegetables for that week.
hello, Rob, our friend from Little House Off Grid. Shannon, is the gluten-free book a copy? Okay, so a copy of volume 1 or 2. So the gluten-free, dairy-free edition is this book written in a gluten-free, dairy-free edition. So, yep, that's what I did. Nancy, when both my husband and I worked, I make a number of breakfast sandwiches and freeze them for him. If I left work before he did, he would pop one in the oven or microwave and heat it up. Yep. Terry, most museums have 1 discount per day, month. Great thing to do in the summer with kids. Yep.
Yeah.
Donna took a huge piece of the red velvet cake to her client and his wife. They loved it and said it was absolutely delicious. Yes, that is one of my favorite recipes.
Tara's favorite.
Linnell, cook the recipe and freeze the other half. Yep. Suzanne, I really believe many people have not been trained by their parents on how to do things. We are a few generations of daycare kids, so a lot of people don't know how to do the basics. Yep.
It's true.
Donna, on the barbecue meatballs are out of this world. Thank you.
Thank you.
They're in volume 1. You can send me the next one, Mike.
And you have to use the barbecue sauce that goes with that recipe. That's why they're so I think everybody loves them so much is when they use that barbecue sauce.
Donnie says, I have a problem with vinegar forming some kind of white jello-like stuff that forms in the jar. What is happening and what can I do to stop it? I have never heard of that.
I haven't either. Vinegar?
In a jar?
I
have no idea.
I guess if you guys have
You'll
heard
have
of
to
that,
Google
pop
it, or
in.
somebody comment if you've heard of that, but I have no idea. I mean, to me, it sounds like it's molding.
Yeah.
But vinegar, one of the reasons why it's used to preserve food is because it doesn't mold. So I don't know why it would be molding. Are you sure it's real vinegar? That's just really weird. Terry, freeze, damp, wet, hard cotton, and small kitchen towels to use around the neck, top of head in the heat. That's a good idea. Or move to Canada. Monica made pie crust today with bacon grease for tomato pie. It was good. Oh, that would be good. Nancy says she drives either 55 or 80 miles to get good food prices. Only one small grocery store in my town and high robbery prices. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to us in Idaho. So I totally get it. I mean, it was definitely worth us. I mean, this was 30 years ago too. And so to pay $5 a gallon for milk in town 30 years ago, or 99 cents in the big city 70 miles away, we just went to the grocery store once a month. And it was way worth it. Hello, Felix in Germany.
Oh, from Germany.
Home of Aldi and Little. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Sandy, I make a loaf a week in the bread machine. It's just me and hubby. There you go. Nicole, do you think Israel will be attacked by nuclear even though the Bible doesn't mention that? No, I don't think they will. The Bible's pretty specific that Israel is protected, especially by God. And so I don't think there will be any big nuclear attack on Israel.
Not to wipe it out or anything like that.
I don't think it will. Just Vicky grew up going to thrift shops, rummage sales, and garage sales before it became very popular. Yep. Terry, styrofoam trays do a good job protecting from freezer burn. Yep. Yeah. Joel says in the old days, Mom always bought frozen bread dough, let it thaw, rise, and bake. Yeah. Tanya, I prefer Aldi in my local store because of the small size. I get overwhelmed. Easy box store. Yes.
Exactly. That's why I was saying earlier, you know, if you don't feel good, it's better to go to something small like that, especially if the prices are even better.
Sandra, love my bread machine, but wish that the bread was not in a large cube shape. You win some, you lose some. I don't know what to tell you on that. Paula, I mean, it's bread.
That's too funny. I know what she's saying, though. That's why I'm laughing at.
I think it would make easier grilled cheese sandwiches. It's already
that's true. That's true. That's a positive.
Paula, my downfall from Aldi's is the peanut butter cups right inside the door. Denise, I need some ideas on what to do with the overabundance of squash from my garden. I have froze and dehydrated some, fried some, doing enchilada boats with them tonight. Already done soup. Any ideas? Man, you've hit it all.
Yeah, you've covered everything.
I don't know what else to tell you more to do.
If you guys have some other recipes or ideas, pop in and let us know.
Yeah.
Help her out.
Nancy, I was at Aldi, 55-mile trip today for one of my twice-a-month grocery trips. Same distance to Walmart. Yep. Thank you, Patricia. She loves our show.
Oh, thank you.
Diana, Aldi this week had $1.89 boneless pork roast. There you go. Sandra says zucchini lasagna zoodles. Yeah, you could do something like that. I mean, you're just basically going to have to eat it for 2 meals a day until you catch up, I guess. DK says, I just blanched and froze zoodles for the freezer today. Yep.
You know, that's kind of a good tip that a lot of people who are first-time gardeners, be really careful in the amount that you plant that first year. Think small. A lot of people, when they first start gardening, they put way too much stuff in their garden. And then at the harvest time, they get overwhelmed and they have a lot of it go to waste. Even if they give it away, you can still have a lot. So like zucchini, zucchini just reproduces like rabbits, and it's just crazy. So think small if you're just starting out gardening, and just put in a few plants. Don't put in, if there's only 2 of you in the family, don't put, and you have nobody else to give them to, the tomatoes to, don't put in 20 tomato plants and stuff like that. Am I right? You're the gardener. I didn't know if I should.
Well, unless you have deer and rabbits, then you need to plant all you
Oh,
can.
well,
so you can get
that's a totally different thing.
Terry says baked goods, zucchini relish, zucchini pickles, zucchini and tomato products, Italian herbs, fresh baked breaded zucchini. Yeah. Country Gal says there are recipes online for mock apple crisp using zucchini. Okay, I just can't quite see that. But okay. Also mock pineapple. Once you start looking, you'll find many recipes using zucchini. Yeah, go to livingonadime.com. I have a whole post on how to use zucchini, and we've got zucchini bread, fried zucchini, and something else in here also in volume 1 for zucchini. Susie, I got rib pork chops for 99 cents a pound today. Very good.
That's good.
You can send me the next one, Mike. Joel says hamburgers, make them thinner and big, poke a hole in the middle with your finger, and they hardly shrink. Yep.
Good idea.
Millie, Country Gal recipes. I don't know what that means, but if you mean our recipes like just good old fashioned cooking, yeah. Laura says sneak over to your neighbor's house in the night and leave the zucchini on their porch. There you go. Let's see. Meg wants to know, could we make some helpful hints YouTube shorts? I am doing more hint and tip videos. So yes, be looking for those. Those are coming up. Joel says Swedish pancakes, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk. Tasty. Very good. Dolores wants to know what happened to your car.
Oh, what was it that went wrong with it, Michael? Water pump. Yeah. We were garage selling one day, and I drove into Tara's driveway, and all this stuff was pouring out the underneath my car, and so it was a water pump.
Everybody is saying that the white stuff foaming on the vinegar is the mother. It's a good thing. The mother will convert alcohol to vinegar. So if you want to make your own vinegar, scrape it off and use it. But she must have some sort of natural vinegar or something, because I've never had vinegar do that.
It's part of the fermentation.
It's part of the fermentation.
It's not totally fermented when they put it in the bottle.
It's not totally fermented when they put it in the bottle, is what y'all said. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, let's see. Did you send me the next ones, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Karen says it's the vinegar, mother, but don't eat it. Gross. I'm sorry. You're just eating mold when you think about it. Ugh. Okay. And let's see. Lynn, do you check out your ads on the Flip app by zip code? No, because I only have 3 stores here. We only have 2 stores with ads and then Walmart. Yeah. So I just check those 2 stores. Jeannie, are you still making gluten-free bread? How long does it stay fresh? Yes, and about a week in the refrigerator. 6 months in the freezer. South Loop River Homestead, great zucchini. Freeze it in the winter. Mix onion, stovetop stuffing mix. It's a good veggie to the carb. Very good. Felicia says, I'm single. I eat a lot of leftovers. I organize my freezer by the dates of the meat. Yep.
Very good.
Lisa says, prep all food immediately after purchase. Yep. Hello, Nola from Australia. Hello.
Hi.
I did a quiz today. I was reading a book set in Australia, and the boys were sitting at the table eating lunch. And I said, okay, guys, tell me where this person is at. And it said it was Christmas break, and they decided to go swimming and put up the hay. And they all looked at me like, and then one of them said, Australia. So Shay got that one. He got that one. Connie says, I have 2 stand-up freezers. The one inside my house is the meat we cook first. My freezer is my shed. The freezer in my shed holds meat I get on sale. An inside freezer goes on low, and I pull from the shed. Yeah. I got a bunch of crab apple jelly and cinnamon jelly syrup stuff. I need to be getting that used up out of my freezer because I need to be rotating it through, but I'm the only one who eats it. So I pulled it out this morning, and the boys liked it.
Oh, did they? Oh,
So the boys got special homemade crab apple syrup for the waffles this morning. Michelle, Aldi's has the best sweet potato chips ever. Yes, I have had those. They are very good. And let's see, guys, our cookbooks are in the description below, 25% off right now. Start with volume 1. It is where you want to start. Volume 2 is just the additional recipes. They're totally separate recipes. Easy recipes to get you in and out of the kitchen quick. Your family will love, with ingredients that are cheap. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition right here, if you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me.
And if you guys already have the cookbooks, check out our ebooks, because like we said before, we have a lot of good ones. And the menus ebooks, we have it in categories where we have a pork section, a chicken section, a beef section, and then we have a section, a miscellaneous, and then we have holidays, what to do for the 4th of July and all the different holidays, Christmas and different things. So if you've already got those cookbooks, we do have different, like we said, different recipes in the ebooks you might want to check out.
Are there any changes on how you live since moving to Wyoming? It is a lot harder. It is a lot harder buying stuff for like the house, like appliances.
That I think is the biggest thing.
When we were remodeling the kitchen, it was ridiculous. So like if you need a new microwave, you've got Walmart and Home Depot here in our town. And so if you live in Casper, Gillette, or Cheyenne, you would have more selection, but not a lot though.
Mm-mm.
You maybe have Menards and Home Depot, which would be a lot better than what we have, but that's the hardest thing. You can't just go clothes shopping if you want to just go clothes shopping. You can't just go like to the Christmas tree farm for Christmas. They have a lot of stuff to do here, but it's not like
the theater, fancy theaters.
Yeah, well, and like there's not a lot of restaurants. There are restaurants, but it's not, like you're not going to get your normal Chili's, Applebee's, all that kind of stuff if you do that kind of stuff. Yeah, Joel says we are the least populated state in America for a reason.
So GG is
so yes. So if you like doing all of those things, then if you just sit in your house all day, then I guess it's fine. But
you just learn to do different things. But it is hard buying stuff. That's the thing that
it's hard buying cars.
It's hard buying almost anything.
It's really hard buying cars. As a matter of fact, we may have to start driving 8 hours to Rapid City round trip to be getting the next car we need, because we're just not finding cars. It's really hard. So
also, your mom doesn't go out that much compared to what you did in Kansas in the wintertime.
Yeah.
No, I'm just staying home in Kansas. I go out more here, really.
So, but yeah, those are the kinds of things that are different. Let's see, Michelle, I just talked to the maintenance and they will replace appliances once the microwave is still on when it was open. Ooh, that's bad. Oh dear. Emily says our local store, they had 2-pound packages of strawberries for $12.99. Holy cow. Yeah, I won't be buying strawberries. Yeah, you can send it. Northern California, $6.99 to $13.99 a pound. Holy cow. That's crazy. Do you feel comfortable purchasing online? Yeah. If your credit card's going to get, everything is digital now. So if your card's going to get stolen, it's going to get stolen if you have a credit card. So I have no problem. 90% of everything is digital now. So
this is going to sound weird, but I'm not really worried about purchasing online, but I don't do a whole lot because I figured Tara has her credit cards out there and everything, and it's just easier for her to go in and do it for me. So I usually get her to order a lot of stuff for me. If I do, I don't order that much stuff, but when I do, I have her do it for me.
Monica, 2 to 3 squash plants, 6 tomatoes, 3 cucumbers is what I have. Yep. Laura, sneak over to your neighbors. Oh, we got that one. Darlene loves us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, I'm going to make colorful bites tonight. You need to add that to your book. I did mine in ranch if you like heat. Frank's red sauce. That would be very delicious. Just Vicky, zucchini pineapple bread is yummy. Yes.
Mm.
What would be a good way to do fried zucchini gluten-free? So all I do is just use gluten-free flour in it instead of regular flour. And I eat it that way all summer long, and it tastes really good. Or you could use cornmeal if you want instead. South Leaf Ripper Homestead says, I tasted a mock apple pie made out of zucchini. People could not tell it wasn't apple. Huh. Maybe I need to try that recipe.
Yeah.
Michelle says, my dad had a plumbing problem in his house. They got the water bill for $300. They were freaking out. Whoa, that is a lot. Lorraine says, zucchini relish is really good. Yep. Vicky says, I would love someone to give me zucchini. Yep. I would make zucchini bread and grilled zucchini. Yeah. So all of those are in our volume 1, guys. And on our website, livingonadime.com, we have a whole post that's just zucchini recipes. Joel, how do you make apple cider vinegar from apples? I don't know. All I know is you ferment it. So you'll have to Google that one. I don't make it.
It's not super complicated, but you have to have a couple of specialty things to do with it.
Joel says freezers either have 2, 1, bigger one. Oh, wait, I read that one. Emily, and I got that one. Okay. Let's see. DG says some companies are charging $5 extra if you want a paper bill mailed to you. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Angie said, I went to my mom's hometown in Basin, Wyoming. It was the nothing she had told me it was. Yeah.
Well, see, Sheridan isn't bad to us because we lived in a town that was 400, and then what was Springfield?
Well, when we lived there, it was like, no, 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah, but when we lived there, it was about 1,200. But then when I moved later, it was 10 years later, it was only like 800 or 900.
So we're used to tiny towns. So Sheridan doesn't seem too bad to us.
Yeah,
we knew
it's
what to expect anyway.
Well, and that's another bad thing here. You can have Amazon Prime, and it doesn't come in 2 days. It'll come in a week anyway. So if you are used to like getting like my daughter gets her stuff literally the next day. And if you're used to that, you're going to have to be prepared to order ahead of time.
Well, it's even worse in the winter because they close the roads in Wyoming. A lot of the main highways get just closed down. They don't plow them. And people don't understand that. We didn't know that when we first moved here. They just close the roads. So nothing can get into us and we can't get out. So
yeah. And like Mom's birthday, happy birthday!
Oh, thank you.
Is Sunday. Mom's birthday is Sunday, and she didn't give me a birthday list. Well,
no
she's
presents.
Gonna be getting.
I went and bought my presents and gave them to her yesterday.
So she'll just get a note for anything she wants. Kimberly says, my husband clipped the hose to the propane tank outside while using the weed whacker today. Thank goodness it didn't explode. Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Then when they came out to fix it, they found a leak in the hose or in the house from where we had the furnace replaced a couple of years ago. Wow. Well, maybe it's a good thing you did get it. So now we have to wait on a plumber to come fix it next week. It's just one thing after another, eating away your money. I know, isn't it?
That reminds me, it was probably God protecting you. I heard a story the other day about this woman was in a rowboat and she was praying that God would give her protection and everything. And she somehow fell in the boat, knocked her head and fell over into the water and then came up again. And she was getting mad at God. And she said, well, I thought you were going to protect me and take care of me and everything. And it was like God said to her, I did. You didn't drown, did you? So some of those things you got to think that God's protecting you. And it's a good thing that even though they seem bad at first, it's a good thing they happen sometimes.
Everyone is wishing you happy 90th birthday.
Oh, aren't you smart? Thank you, guys. That's sweet of you. I'm like my daughter.
Does she look good for 90? Inspired by Nature says, what are the top 3 childhood meals?
I would say spaghetti. Something with noodles like spaghetti. What else? They like mashed potatoes usually.
No, you. What was your childhood meals?
Oh, my meals. I don't know.
You can't remember that far.
I can't remember that. Hot dogs. Hot dogs is my really.
Mom loves
I still love hot, and that's the only thing I can't get here is a good rotisserie hot dog and Quick Trip. I live just a couple of blocks from
Well,
Quick
we'll
Trip
have Jack. We'll have
in
Mike.
Kansas, and I love their hot dogs, and
We'll
I
have
can't
Mike
get
bring
them.
you one from Casper
Oh,
on your birthday.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I love hot dogs. That's probably my favorite. I didn't even eat hamburgers, believe it or not. I wouldn't even touch a hamburger when I was young. It wasn't until I was high school before I actually started eating hamburgers, because hot dogs was always my choice.
Who's he looking for?
A hot dog from the rotisserie thing at one of the
At Quick Trip.
at Common Sense there is better than here.
Well, the ones I tried here, they're not
Yeah.
quite the same.
The one in
so,
Casper, I think, was better.
Yeah.
Just Vicky, are you following the Robert Morris saga? Yeah. Okay, so I heard about that, and I'll just give you my 2 cents. I'm not going to go in too deep into it. Okay, so this pastor, who's been a pastor for 35 years, molested a 12-year-old girl 35 years ago for 4 years, and he has stepped down as pastor. What do I think about that? I think that he should have never, ever been a pastor, ever. They said that he went into, what was it called? Restoration or something like that for 2 years. Sorry. When you do something like that, if you have an affair as a pastor, like Jimmy Swaggart, if you molest a kid or anything like that, you are never to be a pastor again. That automatically disqualifies you to be a pastor automatically. So that's my
the Bible
2
says
cents
if you're
on
a
it.
teacher or a pastor, you have a higher level
Yes,
you have
you're
to
accountable for.
account to, and so yes, God forgives us our sins and that type of thing, but when you are a teacher or a pastor, somebody in authority like that, you've got a much heavier responsibility, and you have to, like I said, do a higher level of accountability. And so that's why Tara is so strong on that. Well, we all are strong on that, because it's just wrong to go back and be a pastor after you've done something. That doesn't mean you're not still a Christian. It doesn't mean that you can't maybe do, teach the gospel to some, but not to be in a leadership authority type umbrella.
But
thing.
I will tell you, I really question if he's truly a Christian, because if he's truly a Christian, first of all, it would not have gone on for 4 years. Secondly, he would have repented, and he has not repented. Even in his comments that he put out officially on that, he did not repent in that. That is not true repentance. And he got caught, so he resigned, but he should have been fired from that position, and he should have bent over backwards to do everything he can to pay for that girl's counseling and all that kind of stuff that she needs to go through to deal with that. And he has not done anything like that. So that is 100% wrong, according to the Bible. Then everyone defends Jimmy Swaggart or whoever it is that is still a pastor. I can't remember which one it is, or no, the other guy's dead, but Tammy Faye's husband is dead. But that automatically disqualifies you. Period.
Well, if you're a good test, if you're in a good relationship with the Lord where you're supposed to be, you won't have to be told this. You will just feel in your heart that you've done something wrong, and you know God's forgiven you if you've asked forgiveness, and you have made what's the word I want? Like Tara was saying, paying for the gals' counseling and little girls' counseling, that type of thing. Restitution. If you've done restitution and you've gone through all those things and you've got a good relationship with the Lord, you'll still know in your heart that maybe God doesn't want you in this type of position anymore. He's got something else for you. Maybe counseling, people that have the same problem or something, but he doesn't want you in that position. And you'll know it in your heart. You'll know it in your heart if your relationship is right with God. And so if a guy comes up and says, well, I think I'm okay and I can go ahead and be a pastor again, I really question whether he's gotten things straightened out between him and the Lord,
Well, and it's not like it was, kids just messing around, like 12-year-old kids or whatever who have no idea what they're doing or whatever. This was a 12-year-old girl and a 20-year-old guy, 21-year-old guy who was married. He knew better than this. And his wife was defending him.
Yeah, that's.
I'm sorry, that's just sick. It's
Mhm.
just sick. It's not like he was, 13 and she was 12 or something. He was 21 and she was 12, and this went on for 4 years. It's not even a one-time thing either. Not that a one-time thing is excusable, but so yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing. Stop going to churches with pastors like this.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, be a little more protective of your children. People are using coaches and different instructors. They're letting their kids go after school to all these different things all the time. Younger kids need to be home and protected. That doesn't mean you keep them locked in the house. I'm not saying that, but we tend to send our kids to all these birthday parties when they're young and just send them by themselves. You don't know what uncle's going to, the
Yeah,
parents
my kids
might be
never
nice
had
and
a
everything,
sleepover ever. My kids never had a sleepover.
but you just don't know who bigger, older brothers are going to be there, or things like that. You need to be a little more protective of your children, I think, than what we tend to do nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a different world, and you
So-
have to be a little more
And
protective.
if there's anybody that's defending this guy, no way. I saw what the church put out and what he put out for his apology. That was not someone who is sorry for what they did.
Mhm.
So you really need to question if someone is defending this guy. That's a big problem. So I seriously question if he's a Christian because he has no repentance. He continued to be a pastor for 35 years. If he was truly a Christian and read the Bible, it is very specific that a pastor must be devoted to his wife, Titus 1:6 and 1 Timothy 3:2. The pastor's marriage illustrates Christ's love for his church. He's not loving his wife by doing those things. So, yeah, I mean, you cannot participate in that, because if you continue going and you know about these things, you're just as bad as they are.
Well, another thing too is he's like I said, if he asks forgiveness, he will be forgiven by God. But a lot of times pastors should have an anointing on them, a special anointing. And I've seen people do things like this in the past, and they lose that anointing. If they go back to what they'd done, office they'd done before, that anointing's gone, and they do more harm than good, for something like that. Huh?
Somebody says Jim Baker is still, yeah. So Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart, all of them, they have no reason to be preaching at all. Yes, your sins are forgiven, but you have disqualified yourself when you have an affair as a pastor.
Mhm.
And you should not be following any of those guys at all. So yeah, I mean, and this happens a lot in churches. This church is not immune to this stuff happening, but as Christians, we have to stand up and say this is wrong. And that's the problem. Nobody does. So anyway, all right, guys, please visit us at livingonadime.com. Have a good night, and we will see you guys
Bye-bye,
next week.
guys.
Happy
Love
birthday.
ya. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.